What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? It is I, Randy with RTS Mobile Gaming, bringing you another fantastic Age of Empires mobile video for you today. If you were following the live stream we did on Sunday, there is a massive war here with one of our sister alliance, IE, against VIQ and HIQ and a few other alliances that are attacking them over in this region here. And what we are going to do is take a look at a few massive reports shared to us by our good buddy Blaedr over on the leadership side here. We also have Blaedr over here. Shout out to Blaedr. You know, she's always in the live streams with us. She has been on the front lines assassinating them every time she logs in, so that's been glorious. Like I said, we're going to take a look at a few reports today, and we're going to talk about the effectiveness of Leonidas, because I did a video a few days ago comparing Mulan and Leonidas, recommending which one to select with the starter $1 pack, and now we're going to look at some reports of somebody with a strong Leonidas in large-scale combat. The best way to decide if he's the one for you, okay? So first, I'll start with this particular report here. As you can see, there is a rallied army against, a HIQ rallied army against some of our own folks who are defending a flag. Okay, this is in the allied territory for IE. And I'm just going to fast forward right to the comparison. Now, if you guys are not aware on how to read the combat reports, you can go ahead and click the comparison in order to get the play-by-play details, or I guess the summary details for each individual person. You can also click troop details and get overall stats on troops. But we're going to take a look at the hero stats to look at the hero damage output, okay? So first thing I'm going to do is go to the top left here. I'm going to click on these little arrows that let me interchange the person I'm looking at. I'm going to interchange that. I'm going to go to Blaedr on this particular report. And we're going to take a look at his Leonidas. As you can see, he has a 5-star Richard first. He has a 5-star Leonidas. He's got a couple skills here that are level 30 and 40 as far as leveling those things up. So we're going to take a look at that. It's going to be really, really powerful. And what he's using is several different Retribution or Counter-Strike based attacks with Leonidas using a high Counter-Strike build. And you also have Richard, who also does tremendous Counter-Strike damage as well. So we're going to really be comparing these couple heroes here and seeing how we like it, okay? Then you click on the Details tab. This will help show you the actual damage that the heroes dealt. This is different than your troop damage and your auto attack damage. This is the damage the heroes deal with their skills. First, this column over here for activated. This column over here for activated will tell you how many times in the fight this skill was activated. And then it'll give you the damage output of those skills on the right-hand side here, okay? And any associated buffs, that way you can click it and see what the effect was. So we can see Richard did just over 31, almost 32, yeah, about 32,000 damage here, a little bit more than 32,000 damage output here with his Counter-Strike skill, okay, with Force or Retaliation, and with his Lionheart signature skill. This is the one that he comes with as a passive. It's a pretty solid skill, and it really does do a decent amount of damage, but it's not as high as I was hoping. That's for sure. Okay. We also don't seem to see a damage output triggering from this. I'm not sure why we didn't see any damage come out from this particular skill, but let's keep going down the list here, okay? Here comes Leonidas, ladies and gentlemen, where Richard, the first 5 stars, only did about 32,000 and change. Leonidas 5 stars has done 23 plus 11 plus 7. So I don't know what that is off the top of my head, but I think that's about 43,000 damage, and that is pretty significant. It is dramatically higher than Richard's output, and Leonidas is not using a primary skill. Not only did he do an incredible amount of damage with his Counter-Strike, which is the same one that Richard has, so they actually have fairly balanced damage output here. 12 triggers versus 14 triggers. Slightly different Counter-Strike type builds, right? This is Force or Retaliation, which boosts the hero's might, and this one is going to be a counter-attack that replenishes your troops with a little bit lower damage output, but triggered a great number of times. And we also see Leonidas's signature skill here, his Unyielding Soul, doing a crazy amount of damage, all right? And the reason why is because it, A, has a very high activation chance, 24%, which is tremendous for Counter-Strike, but B, it gets an incredible amount of bonus damage when your troops drop in health. As you drop below 75% HP, this skill's damage really ramps up and becomes absolutely incredible. And you can see here clearly double the damage of the other skill here. And King's Blade, this one is going to go ahead and boost the damage for all your heroes. I don't know, I might consider recommending that you go with another Counter-Strike and really just lean into that counter-striking, because obviously the damage output here leaves something a little bit to be desired. Okay, and conversely, on the other side of the fence here, we have another Leonidas here. Okay, from one of the enemies, also doing decent damage, massively out-damaged by Blaedr's Leonidas. And finally, okay, we are going to go ahead and take a look at Frederick Barbarossa here, who is triggering a little bit of healing. He is triggering a little bit of damage mitigation for his units, and then again, just more damage mitigation and healing from this skill here. Okay, so that is the first report. Let's take a look at one or two more reports here, and then we'll give you my final conclusion on how I feel about Mulan versus Leonidas now that we're 2 days after my previous video, and we have a few reports to look at. This report is really interesting. In this particular report, Blaedr just went in by himself and attacked an entire rally full of troops and did his best to kill everybody. For some reason, this report is bugged and it is not showing me the comparison, so I can click on it and actually look at the hero damage output. So we're going to try and look at one more report here. Okay, let's see if it'll show me this one. Nope. Okay. Sometimes the reports are bugged. I don't know why it does that. Sometimes you can see the comparison, such as in this one, and sometimes you can't. This is another one where Blaedr is attacking the enemy rally by himself, coming in and getting a massive number of kills. 100,000 troops against 480,000 troops. Really tremendous. And this will be another great testament to Leonidas' overall output, okay? Here we go, into the details. All right, first we have Richard I doing a disgusting amount, 24 activations, a disgusting amount of damage. I just want to clarify something. This is not damage as in one damage output. This is number of troops killed. I should have clarified that at the start. The way that they measure hero damage output is they measure the amount of troops that are killed or the amount of troops that are healed for healing skills. So Richard did just about 56,000 damage worth of output here. And here we see a Leonidas. His signature skill did more than 50% damage than all of Richard's skills combined, okay? Then he also has 40,000 damage here from his counter-strike with a little bit of healing output, a little bit of damage from this. Again, this particular skill, the King's Blade, seems to be really, really tremendously underperforming. And I am not a big fan of this. It only activates every 9 seconds. So instead of activating when you attack or when you take a turn or when you take damage, such as the other skills that Leonidas uses, this activates every 9 seconds, okay? I think that the damage that you're seeing here is just absolutely tremendous. More than 100,000 damage output from just Leonidas' first two Counter-Strike skills. Absolutely beautiful. And pretty solid healing here from Frederick Barbarossa as well. Okay, so if you guys are wondering which hero to pick now, I can firmly tell you that while I still prefer Mulan over Leonidas because I'm a big fan of Mulan's secondary strike abilities using a double strike state where she's launching 2 basic attacks every turn, triggering a lot of on-hit effects, Leonidas is obviously a monster who is a must-have hero if you are going to be running a counter-strike pikemen build, or spearmen, I don't know what they're called. All right, so like and subscribe, ladies and gentlemen. Randy, out.